Hi guys, welcome to another SL3 Wrestling Roundtable podcast. We are here as always. This week we've got a bit of a mixed bag. We're like just doing a bit of topical stuff. We're gonna chat what we chat and do what we do. We haven't really got a full rundown of we're doing this, we're doing that, we're doing this. We go off on a tangent quite a lot. We've got Callum back. Hello.
Hello, I'm back.
How was assignment? Off on secret assignment.
Yeah,
Trying
it was okay. This time last Thursday, I think I was mixing a slow cooker ready for tea, which initially was supposed to be for five people, but in the end was only for three.
Oh, right. All right. We told people that you were trying to get neighbours back on the telly. So how did that work out?
Well, the five of people was supposed to be myself, Paul Robinson, Carl Kennedy, Cody, and Susan. Unfortunately, Paul and Cody were out of town,
Yeah.
so just myself and Carl and Susan
All right.
sat around a Lancashire hot pot
All
for,
right.
for a few hours,
Understandable.
watching the first leg of Sociedad versus Man U, trying to
Yeah.
work out which broadcaster would pick up Neighbours. Um, yeah, I
Was
know
you
you
just
two
sitting
spoke.
there like this has just gone to shit since Toby left? What are we gonna do?
Oh,
Like,
oh, I know it's awful. We spoke about bringing Bouncer back and various characters that have been dead for years.
yeah, right.
Um, yeah, a good hot pot was enjoyed by all.
Okay, that's good. That's all good. Adam, you all right?
Yeah, all good. Just, plugging away at work. Gearing up for what's going to be a very, very busy few weeks. I mentioned this last week, but Manchester Film Festival starts as we record this tomorrow, and I'm going watching The Penguin Lessons starring Steve Coogan. Unfortunately, Steve Coogan isn't going to be there, but the guy the film is based on is going to be there, which is quite interesting.
Okay.
Um, and then just other bits and bobs. It's my birthday on Sunday. I'm officially mid-30s on Sunday.
Oh,
Yeah.
wish I was mid-30s. So yeah. I'm
Went to
officially
Burning Heart on Sunday. That was a good show.
yeah. So
Good show.
that was the first night.
The second night.
So the first night was in the Olympia,
Yes.
and then you seen the crowning of the Burning
I
House.
saw the crowning of the champion, which was Mark Haskins.
Yes.
Very good match between Haskins and Trent Seven in the semi-finals, and then a very brutal match between Dijak and Ethan Allen to the point where I actually said to somebody, I said, I can't tell if Dijak is just good at his job or he's genuinely pissed off with someone.
Yeah.
Like the way that he was throwing poor Ethan Allen around, right? Absolutely battering him. There was a point where he came over to, so like we were like three rows back,
Yeah.
and he goes to someone on the front row and he says, "Get out of the way." The guy just doesn't move at all. So like Dijak literally grabs him and moves him out of the way, and then he's like saying like, "Get the fuck out of the way." Like, I'm not joking around. Throws Ethan into us. Which beer goes everywhere. Wasn't the biggest spill of the night, because then the biggest spill of the night came when Ethan Allen did the suicide dive onto Dijak, who completely wiped us all out. And it was, but there was a point in like a match later on where they were doing like suicide dives to the outside. Anybody on the left and the right of the ring didn't move. Anyone on the front side of the ring didn't move. All of us shit ourselves. We'd already had two people thrown at us only in the second match of the night. We were like, we're gone. That's it.
Do you get a refund if you get wiped out by the second match?
I don't know, to be honest. Someone came over to speak to the guy that Dijak picked up and grabbed and moved out of the way, though. So...
You okay? You're good. You're not gonna
yeah,
sue.
I'm assuming so, yeah.
Yeah. But okay. Do you want something from the merch stand? Are you okay? Yeah.
Can we buy you a beer?
Yeah. That's funny.
Just to YouTube viewers, I'm not undressing, although I am slightly undressing. This I've left my shirt on since coming back from work and it's too hot.
I
So
thought you were just
I'm
like
just about
doing.
to reveal my Metallica
I
t-shirt. Don't
just
mind
thought you
me.
were like, yeah, you were just opening her up. Thinking this feels a bit
Oh,
formal.
it's
We'll just
warm.
play like the stripper music in the background.
Yeah.
Dun.
Da, da,
Anybody who's actually
da.
like talking of watching on YouTube, which I hope if anyone's listening, they are subscribed to YouTube because it's more fun when you watch us. Um,
Especially for
I
that.
I have got to say, Callum has got the tightest curls going on today. I don't know what it is. I don't know
I
what
mean,
you
for
put in your
audio
hair.
listeners, the innuendo that's going on right now.
Yeah. I don't know what you put in your hair, but it looks glorious. I tell you, it's like a dew throw in it. It's just amazing.
We
Like,
do need to get into this though, because Sam's not going to be happy.
Oh yeah, sorry, Sam.
Sorry, Sam.
Sorry, Sam.
Apparently, we talk too nicely to each other at the start
Yeah,
of the
yeah,
podcast.
yeah. So anyway, you pair of pricks. So well, yeah, as I say, a bit of a mixed bag. We're just gonna talk like a bit of news and a bit of like build up for Mania and like how it could have went and stuff like that. So I'm gonna give Callum like a minute or so to explain his thoughts on the end of Elimination Chamber only because he hasn't been able to. So it's going to lead into what we're doing. But I know Elimination Chamber was like a week and a half ago now. And obviously everyone's still feeling that big, crazy heel turn. But you weren't here. So we had your scores of like what you was giving matches and what you give that heel turn. But what are your thoughts on John Cena?
I think that caused my slight breakdown that I had last week. Um, it's a little bit like when Bart turns against Krusty the Clown, or when they try and get Bart to turn against Krusty the Clown. You know, Bart's got all of this Krusty the Clown merchandise, and like myself, I've got a John Cena cap, a John Cena poster, a John Cena cup that only about 5, 6 hours ago I was drinking a nice cup of coffee out of. And it's one of those things I don't know whether to take it to a public burning now that he's turned on everyone. I feel it was a bit of a
Field in
given.
Nottingham full of people fly tipping Cena merch. We've had enough. So
Imagine
looking out
the
the
colours.
window going, it's not
Like,
November. There's a
yeah,
bonfire.
I feel like from far away that burning would look like an LGBT burning because like you've got every t-shirt, every cut. Someone's like, this has got to be a hate crime of some sort. Like, it's just John
See
Cena.
all their colours.
Yeah, not even that. It's just John Cena. Oh, fair play. I've got a cup in there. I'll throw that on. Bloody hell.
um, I think that a heel turn or a allegiance to The Rock was a given. Whoever won that chamber match,
Right.
never really saw Cody accepting Rock's offer. So when Cena won the match, I was like, are they actually going to do it? And
Hmm.
I think from a booking perspective, it takes a lot of guts to turn this person who had been the babyface of the company for 2 decades
Yeah.
and turn him in what is assumingly his final year. Like I'm so I'm still so surprised by the heel turn in a way that I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't retire this year.
If he
It's
comes out in a pink jacket, like a salmon jacket, on like the last road of the year, oh my God,
yeah,
imagine.
I tricked you all.
Yeah.
Um, and I think for him to be facing Cody at Mania, if that was like face versus face, it would have been too. There wouldn't have been enough animosity between the two for it to be worthy of a WrestleMania main event.
Hmm.
And I just think, and we're going to talk in a little bit about the Rock's involvement, but what a career for Cody Rhodes over these last few years. Like, yeah, I'll be talking about it in a few weeks' time, but I'm going to a show in 10 days that's going to be headlined by Cody Rhodes. I was supposed to go to a show 7 years that was going to be headlined by Cody Rhodes in Nottingham in this little sports hall which had 400, 500 people in.
Hmm.
And 8 years later, he's going to be main eventing WrestleMania against the single biggest name in wrestling in the last 2 decades.
Yeah.
And like the gamble that he took initially to leave WWE in 2016 to go and make a name for himself, because he'd been Stardust for a few years prior to his departure, to go out and make a name for himself, to go and work the indies, to go and form AEW, to then come back to WWE. And like that is probably the single greatest move a wrestler has made
Yeah.
in wrestling, to go from Stardust in 2015 to
Yeah. Yeah.
10 years later headlining his third WrestleMania main event in a row, fourth if you count the main event on night one last year. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a phenomenal achievement for him
Like so
and
many
a great
people
achievement for
tried to do
Cena.
that. Sorry, go on.
And just like a great achievement for Cena as well, to actually be going into a Mania main event where he's playing the heel.
Yeah.
because it's just so uncommon. Like the last Mania main event I think he was in was against Rock
Mm.
in at 29, and every other main event prior to that he was going in as the super over babyface. So it's going to be really fun to see him get booed.
Hmm. Yeah.
But like you're almost like strangely enough, and sorry to like carry on talking about this, but it sort of does feel quite a monumental moment. As soon as he turned heel, I was like, oh, so when are they going to be turning him babyface? Because
Yeah.
like you can't see him walking out of WWE as a heel.
Mm. Well, we said so it would be like SummerSlam time where you turn him back, I guess,
Hmm.
and then Survivor Series potentially that Survivor Series is the only sort of main event outside of WrestleMania that I could see
Hmm.
The Rock wrestling if he was going to go that way. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Gonna like turn on The Rock, but I think the more and more I like kind of like read and see and all stuff like that. I don't know if he's turned with the Rock. I don't think it's like they're a faction of some sort. I feel like it's more it's like he's just the board, and with him saying it's best for business, it was more like a business decision rather than a I'm gonna side with the Rock. You know what I mean? I think he's gonna
Hmm.
side with the board, if you like. Um, but yeah. So anyway, like talking about that, so it came out this week that the original plan was actually for Cody to turn, and like be sided with the Rock, and he wasn't gonna say "Go fuck yourself," which for some reason people in AEW thought that was too much and was unneeded. People in AEW thought someone dropping the F bomb was too much. Oh, oh, that's a bit much. Oh,
They've done it.
I know. Like, what Revolution? Jesus Christ, it's like a bloodbath. Like, it's like you MJF is screaming at the camera, like dropping F bombs. Like Kyle Fletcher is screaming to Will Ospreay that he fucking hates him. Like, like it, and then they're like, "No, that wasn't needed." That, and it's like,
Too far,
hang
Tony.
on a sec, hang on. You stuck needles in someone's face. Like, hang on.
Tony Storm murdered Mariah May with a high heel, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah. Like that
and
was
she
brutal.
biffed a ma. So
Yeah, and she left the man. Yeah, like that was. Have you watched any of Revolution, by the way? Like
no, not yet.
No.
it's that Hollywood Ender match
Mm.
is it's just unreal. Like it's mental. Like I've never seen a women's match like that in my life ever. I don't think I ever will.
Give
After
it a
that,
look.
it's bananas, absolutely bananas. And then the end of it's a bit cat. But not the end of that match. The end of the pay per view is a bit.
Hmm.
Mm.
Yeah,
But
I've
anyway,
heard that.
so the original plan was for Cody to turn, and he was like, "Nah, I don't want to do that." Um, and then it came about that actually turn Cena, and Cena was up for it because he's never been heel and all that stuff, and it worked out the way it worked out. We don't really know yet as of recording this because we haven't seen Cena. Um, So we don't know at this point how well it's going to go or how much of a change he's going to have or any of that stuff. But do you think it would have had even nearly as much impact if it was Cody Turner? Like, do you think they could have done it where it's like, holy crap? But
Um, no, because I feel like it would just it wouldn't have been the right time anyway,
yeah,
and I feel like I'm not saying that we don't get to a point where you do turn Cody heel because I think it could work, but I just think for where he's sort of built himself to be,
yeah.
he needs to be the face. He's the face of the company at the end of the day, you know.
I feel
He's
like
he's
Cody
almost
is fundamentally a heel.
Cody.
Yeah,
Why?
because he just is, isn't he? Like with the suits and like the way he carries the belt and the promos he cuts. Like you could cut everything that he does and everything that he is. He could be a heel exactly how he is. Don't you
Okay.
think?
Hmm.
He's like the reincarnation of Ric Flair when he was decent and had all his marbles.
But I mean, at that point, you've got to take away the entrance music, then, don't you?
Oh yeah, obviously, yeah.
You know,
But
and you've got to take away parts of the presentation, and
yeah,
yeah,
but I feel like the way he carries himself, the way he
yeah, I
carries
know what you mean.
like the carrying the belt like that is a heel
Mm.
way of carrying the belt. Do you know what I mean? Coming out in a suit and a like however many, what probably $1,000 coat that he wears, wearing a different suit to every city. Like these are like old school classic heel tactics to be like,
Yeah.
I'm coming out in a suit, I am better than you guys. Do you know what I mean? I am
Hmm.
like I'm holding the belt because I don't wear it, like unless I'm wrestling and like wearing he wears like even like white boots, I feel like is a heel thing because it's like white boots say that you have enough money to have new boots every match.
Oh
Do you
yeah,
know what
because
I
they're
mean?
forever white. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like that's a classic heel thing to me.
Yeah.
Like, and the promos you could cut in a heel way.
Mm.
Like he's not necessarily a massive face. I think it works both ways. I thought that was just a common knowledge thing. Is that just me? Because I've watched wrestling for too long. I'm like,
Oh, I mean, I think it's probably just the way I probably see it more in terms of like the way that he carries himself, that it's
mm,
not a heel way to carry himself. But I suppose that's a very quick change that can be done. It's a very
yeah,
quick sort of
yeah, yeah,
behavioral
yeah,
thing that can happen, and
yeah,
the rest of the presentation is almost with some of the things that he's doing.
yeah,
Um, I, d- I like him in the role. I think he works in the role, and I think him being a heel isn't the right thing at the minute. So Cena was the right choice.
yes,
But then just giving us something interesting, just giving us something new and fresh.
mm,
Like, because I think the worry or the concern would be that the Cena run, the final Cena year, was relying on an awful lot of goodwill from the audience. In that, had yeah, we know that it's going to be his last one. We'll cheer that he's in the Rumble for the last time. We'll cheer that he's in the Chamber for the last time. We'll cheer that he's going to be main event in WrestleMania for the last time. But then, if he just went on a tour with the title and it turned into Lol Cena wins again, like would that have run out of steam? Would people have been chanting Cena sucks at him towards the end again? So actually, I think this is, to be fair, probably the right thing to do. And I am very intrigued to see what the presentation is going to be like on Raw. Is he just gonna walk out to no music like Ciampa started doing when he first turned heel?
be
Is
good.
it, but because I feel like that's usually the kind of way that they go in that, like
Mm,
if you think about New Day as well, like they'll just walk out,
yeah,
and then eventually the little bits will get added in.
mm,
Um, I'd be very surprised to see an entire presentation ready for him to come out with a
yeah,
Tron behind him and all that because WWE Shop have released the final time Cena Brussels merch for Raw, and it's still very Cena-esque. It's just a slightly darker red color. It's like a maroon.
yeah,
Uh, but
yeah,
it still reeks of Cena. It's still like the cap and the wristbands and all that kind of stuff. So I'm intrigued to see where it goes. I mean, I would just be surprised if he just carried on wrestling in exactly the same way, wearing exactly the same stuff, and came out to exactly the same music, but was just a heel. I get
yeah.
the feeling that we're gonna get tweaks here
He's
and there.
wear rather than baby blue jeans, he'll wear stonewashed jeans, which
Yeah,
is
like black jorts.
yeah,
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 like that's the only change you'll have. But
yeah.
they have released. I don't know if this is just because that's what they like to do, and it's like a bit of a cash cow. But they have released old t-shirts.
All
Um,
right, okay.
so they've released. Do you know the hustle, loyalty, respect t-shirt that was like a sort of warning sign, and on the back it had like the massive bulldog.
Yeah, yeah.
That one
Yeah.
that's been released, and they've released Chain Gang Battalion t-shirts.
Hmm.
But they did it when Cena came back. When Cena, they did it when Punk came back
Yeah.
because the Punk t-shirt that I've always wanted is the fist um with holding the arrows.
Oh yeah, yeah. I've got
So
that
that's
one.
the best in
Mm.
the world.
Yeah.
And it's running out, and they haven't got my size anymore, which I'm like devastated about. But I'm gonna have a look about because these other places to get other things, I suppose. So, um, but yeah, so they're doing old school t-shirts. But as I say, it could just be because he's back because that's what they did, and they're like, well, if he's coming back, then that's what you want. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
Like old school stuff. I only noticed it because people were like, "Oh my God, this Cena t-shirt this new Cena t-shirt is so different to all his other stuff." And I tweeted it and was like, "People saying this is a new shirt is making me feel really old because it's like I remember him wearing it. It's not old. Do you know what I mean?" So that's a little bit annoying, but it is about 20 years old. Like, do you know
I've
what I
just gone on WWE shop because I was just interested. Um, and the two newest t-shirts that have been added are Stone Cold t-shirt.
Well, that's one of the things I was going to mention to you.
I was going to say slight segue, but yeah.
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 But yeah, I do think I think the thing with Cody turn, if you like. So if he was going to turn, the issue would be the arguably isn't a face of the same caliber to fill his spot, who is always there. So like Reigns as a face is a big enough face to fill Cody's shoes, but he's not there all the time. Punk is arguably a big enough face to fill them shoes, but he's on Raw and he'd have to move to SmackDown and he's not always
And,
on. So it's one of
I
them.
can't imagine him
and
doing it full time.
and as much as I'm a fan of Punk, he's 47,
Yeah.
and it's like you can't really imagine a 47-year-old doing a full-time
That's
run
what I
as the
mean.
main
It's like,
babyface.
yeah, everyone who is at the caliber, I think, Cena, at the caliber, I think Cody is, none of those people do a full-time schedule anymore. Do you know what I
Mm.
mean? So it would be a bit weird that it's like, even if you turn them and then it's like Cena becomes the main face, he's not there all the time and he's not going to wrestle every week. So it's just a bit, it made more sense. It's strange that The Rock wanted Cody and Cody had the stroke, I suppose, to be like, nah, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that says a lot about where Cody is in the company and how he's thought of and stuff like that. That he's had that in him to be like, hey, nah, I don't think that's gonna work. Do you know what I mean? So I think he will turn heel eventually because everyone does, clearly, because it's what it used to be
Yeah.
that
At
Cena's
some
the one who
point.
doesn't, but he actually does. Um, but yeah, it will be interesting. I think all the rumors of him shaving his head and like a whole new presentation, and he's already had music from when he wanted to be a heel, back in the day, and everything else. He's had all these ideas. I think it's interesting to see what they actually do with it. And I think it's in a far better, WWE in general is in a far better position to play around with that than they would have done 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah, because I feel like the sacrifice of like we mentioned last week, the sacrifice of like the merch money and
Yeah,
stuff like that. I
Mm.
don't think that would have been a Vince thing.
no.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if you say it like, I'm not releasing new merch, but then they re-release old merch, potentially that's not releasing new merch, is it?
No,
Like,
that's true.
do you know what I mean? It's like, oh,
Yeah.
throwback, oh, this, and then that's how you get around it. He's had enough t-shirts to be like, hey, get this circa 2002 t-shirt. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Just one a month for like the rest of the
yeah,
year. Yeah.
yeah. Like it's just that's the way you could do it. To be like that's what we're doing, but you're not getting anything new. You're not getting
Mm.
any new shirts. Do you know what I mean? So
But then like they're still doing like city centric ones for all the spots on the
yeah.
tour. So
Well,
Mm.
like Cody's done 4, so it's like he's got like the Brussels Nightmare. Uh,
right, okay.
he's got the Scottish Nightmare, which I'm like, that's a bit close to. That's a bit weird. He's got the
Mm.
London Nightmare and something else. The
Well, there
Madrid.
was a point where they did the Balor Club ones, weren't there? They were like
Mm.
Balor Club,
Yeah,
wherever, and yeah,
yeah. So it's a bit of a, it's a bit of a like cash in, I think. I'll
yeah,
be
yeah. Of
honest with
course
you.
it is.
You like to buy
Um,
a shirt that's got your city's name on it, don't you?
well,
Woo
yeah,
woo.
yeah. But
But
if I was Scottish, I'd get a Scottish Nightmare t-shirt. Like if I was in
Hmm.
Scotland, I would 100%. Like I have
According to
got,
Ruby, you are.
well, yeah, yeah, that's it. So, like I've got like George, my mate, who's Scottish, is going to that Glasgow show that Cena's at. I have no doubt he'll buy that t-shirt because it says Glasgow Nightmare on it. Like, why wouldn't you want to? Why
Yeah,
wouldn't you want that t-shirt if you're from Scotland or Scottish Nightmare, whatever it is? Um, yeah, that'd be like that's me in it. Yeah, that's my wrestling t-shirt. That's that. So moving on slightly, the mention of the Stone Cold. I think they've released Stone Cold t-shirts because it's 316 in it.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's a new design though, so I
Yeah.
was a bit like,
Yeah.
okay, yeah.
So he said in the recent past that if Cody needs him, he'd be there. And then it's come out even more recently that he's going to be in LA that weekend. So do you think they're going to pull the trigger on him being in Cody's corner or doing something coming out with The Rock or not with The Rock, but against The Rock? Or do you think that's something that's needed? Or possibly he's going to do a run in, which I would think is the worst possible way of doing anything because we had 11 run ins last year. Know what I mean? So,
My thing was going to be if he did, I feel like they missed the trick by not having him there last year. Like, can you
Mhm.
imagine the sort of the
yeah.
story to it of?
Yeah.
I mean, there's still a story though, isn't there? In that Cena was one of the people that came out to help
Yeah.
Cody last year,
Yeah.
but it would have been good if Austin was also that person.
Yeah, like I think well the original you would I don't know if this is true or not, but you would think the spot that the Undertaker had would have originally they wanted to have
Apparently, they couldn't agree on money.
yeah, which is just bananas, I'll be honest. Like what the
Like,
hell?
come on, Steve.
Yeah,
This multi-billion company couldn't
yeah.
agree on money.
Not only
Yeah.
though, he's under contract, isn't he? So if they wanted
Yeah, surely he's got to be under some sort of contract.
he's at least on a Legends contract.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah,
surely to God they're paying him. I mean,
yeah.
whether they're paying him just for his likeness and
Mm.
just for merch,
Mm. Which
because
he's still getting a cut of.
yeah, so it's like, do us a solid, mate. What are you doing?
Well, because Taker said that like he was in the box at Mania with his family,
Yeah,
and then turned around to him and went, "I'll be back in a minute," and then
yeah.
went and did the thing.
Went and did his thing, but you
Yeah.
would like I don't, as I say, I don't know, but you would assume that when
I'll be
that
back in a minute and turn the light off on the way out. Boom.
yeah,
Took the
when
toilet
I
break during Roman's entrance.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
when
gonna
you're
take a while.
watching
I'm
that,
off.
when you're watching it, you would assume that that's that spot was like, well, if the Rock's standing there and then he's doing his thing, the glass shatters, out comes Austin. That's what you would assume would be
Yeah, yeah,
the
yeah.
obvious
Mm.
choice because it's the Rock and the Rock and Austin
Because
are
they're going for another one of the moment things, aren't they? Where like if they get Austin and The Rock facing face to face at Mania again, even having a bit of a scuffle, like
yeah, the Rock taking one of them stunners where he does like 8, 6, 16 backflips. You know what I mean?
yes, the
Like,
good old days.
yeah, yeah,
Although
um,
now he might pull something. I know he's in
yeah,
very good shape, but
yeah. He probably would pull something. Let's be honest. I don't know it. I don't know. Like the idea of it is like that'd be cool, but then actually thinking about it, know what I mean. But then I said that about facing Owens the other year, the year before
Mm.
last, and that was sound. Like that was fun.
yeah, yeah.
So I was like,
Yeah.
I don't want this in my life. And then he did that, and I was like, actually, that was all right. That was quite fun.
Mm.
Like, that was a good time. The fucking stunner on Vince was just wow. Vince
Of all the people to mess
decided
up a
that.
stunner, how
I
many
was going to
times have
say,
you taken one?
I find it funny that there wasn't enough money to do last year, but there was enough money to stun a Vince two
That's
years
it.
before.
That's it.
We can find the money.
To do a match,
We'll
that's
find
the
the.
thing. Yeah, like, the only wanted them to do a run in, like, but he did basically a full match, like,
Mm.
with Kevin Owens. Like that's insane to think that that's what he was doing. But I don't know. It's one of them. Like I think it's if it was any other like pay-per-view or PLE, I should say, I'd be like, eh. But because it's WrestleMania, you kind of like you've got to sort of work to all of the crowds, I think.
Yeah.
Mm.
And the idea of having Austin there works to all of the crowds. Do you need Austin there? No. But I don't think you need The Rock there either, realistically.
Yeah.
But
Like you could do Cena and Cody just on Cena and Cody.
Yeah.
so I mean, so I don't know. But do you think Cena's winning? I think I asked you this last week, but I haven't asked you both.
No,
Really?
I
I
think
think I said yeah.
I think there's more
Right.
story, especially if he turns back face.
Yeah.
There's more of a story of him losing and having that self-confidence, self-doubt, and
Yeah.
thinking, was selling my soul to The Rock really worth it?
Oh.
And him losing it, and then it being a case of him actually going on a bit of a losing streak, not necessarily for the title, but just on a losing streak.
Hmm.
And then The Rock sort of saying, "You're not the person that
Yeah.
face me at WrestleMania 28, 29. What have you got? What have you got to show me? Why have I, brought you in?" And then Cena turns and says, "I've got ruthless aggression." This is going to be around like SummerSlam sort of time, and
Ooh,
decks The Rock.
nice.
Going back onto WrestleMania, I think Austin will be there, and I think Ric Flair will be there as well. Like this isn't me coming out of like a really I want to see Edge versus Stone Cold, but I think there is actually a legitimate case for Flair to be there to try and ensure that Cena won't win the 17th world title and be there in Cody's corner to support him.
Hmm.
And it be a case, but also it be a case of Flair sort of saying to Cena, "This isn't how you should win your 17th title."
Yeah. Maybe. I mean, I don't. Again, the idea of Flair is far better than Flair.
An actual Flair.
That's the thing. Like, I feel like something like if it was like, oh, I'm gonna stop Cena winning, and then Cena literally like,
And then it's
yeah, like he'd take his jacket off, and then Cena lit him once, and he lit the mat and just burst into dust. Like, I'm just like, it's done,
bleeding.
man. Like, it's over. Like, yeah, it's like I get what you're doing, but come on. And I feel like he's already phoned Triple H and being like, all right, look, Paul, this is what we're gonna do at Mania. And Triple H is like, nah, nah.
Sorry, new phone, who this?
Yeah. Like he already started to insane. I love Ric Flair, I do. I just don't like when old wrestlers try and shoehorn into something that has nothing to do with them. Um,
You're I love this person, trust me, I do, is now turning into like a geriatric home.
yeah,
I
basically,
love
yeah.
Vince McMahon, trust me, I do, but
I do. I really do. Ric Flair's
I
the
love
fan.
Billy Gunn, trust me.
Like that won't happen. All right. Man's 61, he can do what he wants, all right. But what I'm saying is the idea of Ric Flair being there and trying to, and then I'm like trying to insert himself. Do you know what it is, right? And do you know what? It's not even the Cena thing. It was because he tried to do it with Sting.
Mm.
He wanted him to turn on Sting in the end, and it's like, what,
For,
what,
for what reason?
what good's that gonna do except you think you're gonna get over? You know what I mean? It's like that's not the story that's getting told. Yeah, but imagine me turning heel on him and then him going out and me just being this mega heel. And it's like, yeah, but he's not coming back. Like it doesn't make any sense. So and I feel like this is the same where it's like, yeah, you can sort of be there and you can have like a backstage thing where you're looking at him like you're not winning 17. Know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's not happening.
Mm.
And not even that. In Flair's head, which is right, he's not a 17-time champ, he's a 21.
Mm.
Because WWE don't recognize it. So it's one of them where it's like even that is frigging backwards. And if you want to be really like nitty gritty about it, WWE never made him a 17-time champ. It was WCW. I'm like,
That's yeah.
no,
Yeah.
it wasn't even their decision. Like, I wouldn't. It would be interesting in some kind of weird parallel timeline, like to see if how many world titles Ric Flair would have
Mm.
if he was 100% in WWE or WWF.
Mm.
Because I guarantee it wouldn't be fucking 17. Know what I mean?
Be like
Like
two, wouldn't it?
something like that. Know what I
Mm.
mean? Like he's amazing, like he's proper, he's Ric Flair, like, but it's one of them where it's like, dude, like just have a bit of like self-respect, man. Like, stop trying to be in all everyone else's business and that. Know what I mean? Just I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, I'm getting ranty.
Yeah, he's been WWF World Heavyweight Champion twice.
There you go. How many times has he been WCW champ?
Um, right, so that's twice, and then he's been NWA Missouri Heavyweight Champion once.
What even is that?
Don't know. NWA World Champion 9 times. And then WCW World Champion 8 times.
There you go. What even? So WWE
Well,
only.
yeah, yeah, because so the WCW ones and the NWA ones are his 60 at 17,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
and then he's got another two WWF ones on top of that.
yeah.
So then at that point you're 19.
So I think the Missouri one doesn't count,
Well, I've not even counted the Missouri one in that.
right? So then I think the NWO ones and the WCW. No, I think the WCW ones count, but isn't he just NWA champ? But then,
Yeah, so he's been NWA champ 9 times.
right, but isn't the NWA WCW?
No, that's separated on Wikipedia.
Right, okay, because there's a point where so there's a
All right, yeah, yeah. So
right.
Flair did win the Mid-Atlantic version of the NWA United
There
States
you
Heavyweight
go.
Championship 6 times, and the six reigns were recognized even after WCW took control of the championship and renamed it the WCW United States Championship. After WCW's purchase by WWE, the lineages of the championship were kept in the WWE United States Championship. WWE has published contradictory information on Flair's reigns, recognizing 5 reigns in one article, but describing him as a 6-time champion in another article. Oh, that's just for the US title.
Yeah, it's that. So these titles that he's won that don't count.
There's just stuff that just doesn't make sense. Just the
Yeah, yeah,
whole thing just doesn't make sense. Um, because then I saw one then that just yeah, WCW International World Heavyweight Champion twice.
yeah.
What's that when it's at home?
The International Championship.
Yeah.
It was a thing in like the 80s, wasn't it?
90s. It was so Flair beat Barry Windham for the NWA World Title. NWA withdrew recognition when WCW left the NWA. Flair continues to be recognized as World Heavyweight Champion by WCW. WWE doesn't recognize this as a separate reign, and it is included in one of Flair's 8 NWA title reigns recognized by WWE.
This is
So
the titles all over again, Mitch.
WWE recognize him as a 16-time champion. If you add up the ones on Wikipedia that say World Heavyweight Champion, you're looking at around about 19, I think.
Yeah, I thought it was 19 well, I thought it was 21.
So you got
Yes.
8, 2, so that's 10. Another 9, 19. If we're counting the Missouri one, that's 20.
Yeah,
Or if you don't, to be fair, if you don't count the Missouri one and then you add on the WWE ones, it is 21.
21 there you go, yeah.
Yeah,
Because I'm sure he says 21 in his book.
yeah.
I'm fairly certain he
Mm.
says 21 in his book. That's what I will go off. But it's just mad. As I say, they didn't make him. He's just a champ. But he's not. It's like even now when AEW are like, oh yeah, he's like a 12-time champion. It's like, but he's not in your company. Or like, oh, the
Yeah.
Hall of Famer, and he's like, but he's not your Hall of Famer. He's a Hall of Famer somewhere else.
Well, one of the things listed on his championships and his accolades was the WWE bronze statue,
Yeah,
which obviously it was Andre first, and then they did Bruno Sammartino, Ultimate Warrior, Dusty Rhodes, Ric Flair, Roddy Piper, right?
yeah.
Did you know that Bray Wyatt got it last year?
What is it?
You know, they reveal it at Access, and it's that sort of
Yeah.
life-size bronze statue.
Oh yeah, did you? Yeah, yeah,
I don't recall hearing about the Bray one
yeah. Yeah, I remember the Bray one.
because
Ah,
obviously Taker's got one as well.
yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. Not everyone knows the Dusty one, don't they? Because
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
it's the picture of Cody with Dusty.
yeah.
Yeah, mad.
No, I wasn't aware of the Bray one.
Have you got a pic? I don't know. I can't remember what it looks like.
Must have slipped my mind. It's all videos when I've clicked on this
All
link.
right, okay.
Hmm.
Um,
Oh, it's not a bronze statue. That's probably why. It's like a Madame Tussauds job.
oh,
Yeah,
why is it called a bronze statue?
I don't know. It's got clothes on and
Oh,
it's got a beard.
isn't didn't wasn't this a storyline?
I don't
With
know. Was
someone,
it?
someone wasn't right. So these bronze statues and that.
Yeah.
This when Seth was gonna get one because he
And
was
it
Oh,
was
yeah.
Sting
They worked,
underneath.
and it was Sting
and
underneath.
it was Sting.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
I remember. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Sorry, yeah, yeah.
With
Mad.
his face paint rubbing off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
sweating under the cloak. Like,
yeah. Let me out.
He was going to become a bronze statue if he stood there
oh,
long enough.
Jesus. Talking of titles, we're getting good segues here. NXT have unified the women's title and the women's North American title. Um, thoughts?
I don't think they're going to stay unified. I feel like it's
No.
just a double champ thing.
Hmm.
Is this like a Keith Lee?
Yeah.
Keith Lee
Yeah.
was like bailed it.
Hmm.
Is this
Yeah.
just because Julia is injured,
Yeah.
Yeah.
or she's hurt, or she needs something? Uh,
There was a visa thing that was thrown up as well as an injury.
well, I
Hmm.
haven't actually watched Roadblock yet, but since it's been on Netflix, I have watched every single episode. This
Oh,
Hmm.
look at you.
NXT, I mean, like I need to watch more wrestling. Are you messing? Like I've been. So for anybody who doesn't, well, people won't know, but so I basically count the hours every year that I watch wrestling, right? So I'll write a little. I've got a little note in my phone. So if obviously like I won't write all the Raws and Smackdowns and down and AEWs and that down, but everything I watch that's different to what the standard is. So if I watch old stuff, like I've watched all the 1995, I'm like 1996 and that. But if I watch anything random, like I watch a Noah show and I'll watch some New Japan and I'll watch some like TNA and stuff like that. I'll write it down just to be like, that's what I've watched and how many hours, blah blah blah. And then I count it up at the end of the year just to see. And last year I didn't watch really anything outside of just what was on. So I watched a bit of NXT, a bit of TNA, and I watched WWE, like Raw, SmackDown, pay-per-views, and I watched AEW, so Collision, Dynamite Collision, and Rampage. And last year I broke 700 hours of wrestling in the year, which these two are quite shocked about, I'll be honest. You know what I mean?
So I don't have the
Adam watches
time.
films. I watch football.
Yeah,
That's
Yeah.
sort of our
yeah.
aside from
I don't even
wrestling.
watch films, to be honest.
Film podcast, how do you know what?
I don't know.
What are you doing with your life?
I'm trying to do as much as I bloody can do. I teach, is what's going on here. I teach.
I don't know how I happen to do it. I don't know how it works. I'll be honest with you. But
Never mind all the progress stuff as well.
and I watch progress stuff, obviously, yeah. Um, so I've watched all the episodes. So I'm like, I think there's been like 11 episodes of NXT. But because of the partnership with NXT and TNA, I've watched 11 episodes of TNA as well. So I've basically added 4 hours of wrestling to the week,
Yeah.
which is just bananas. Like it's just what am I doing with myself? Be honest, like I don't know what I'm doing, but I'll say this: NXT's good, isn't it? Like,
The bits I've seen of it, yeah, I
Yeah.
feel like I do want to get back into it.
their women's division is boss. Like it's so good. And last week, so the show before Roadblock, there was like 4 matches on it. But yeah, there was 4 matches on it. Sean Spears won the North American title, which I was quite shocked at, to be honest with you. But there was 4 matches. 3 of them were women's matches. It's just like this is this is unreal. Like, and also I'll add that my 3-month-old little boy, Leo, he only sits still and pays attention to wrestling. Like, this is a crazy thing. But like, if he sits on the bed with me, I swear to God, he doesn't take his eyes off it. Like, he's just mesmerized. And if you put anything else on telly, he's like, I don't give a shit. I'm not asked. But you put wrestling on. I don't know if it was because I was watching NXT and it was all women wrestling, which my man,
Lothario.
my man.
Leo
Oh yeah,
Lothario.
Leo Lothario.
yeah. But the only thing he watches, and I'm just
No
like,
longer Dirty Dom.
Yeah.
I don't watch it properly because I'm watching him being like, why is he just watching? Why is he watching this? And he's just like,
Can't see anything, man.
it's like, it's my head's just like, I don't know what this is. I don't work it out. It's too far away for me to know what's going on. But yeah, he's just mesmerized by it, which is always a nice thing. You know what I mean? So yeah, unifying titles, as I was saying. So you don't think it's going to stick?
No, no.
No, I think as you were saying, the women's roster there is too stacked for the one person to hold both singles titles. And
Yeah.
I thought about it, before we started recording. In a way, it's similar to when Adam Cole was the North American tag champion, but it isn't really, because in that situation, you still had a world title that was being defended by other competitors. And in this situation, you don't really want Stephanie to be having 2 matches on one card or be defending both titles at the same time, because at some point it would devalue one of the titles. I don't think they're going to split it up just yet, because I think they'll probably do it in a ladder match. And I think there's going to be another ladder match at Stand and Deliver that is going to feature the
Oh,
Hardy Boys.
all right, okay. Do you think she's gonna? All right, okay. So, do you think she's gonna keep it till Stand and Deliver, and they're gonna have two ladder matches?
Um, Possibly, or she might vacate it and they just do a tournament um, for Stand and Deliver. 'Cause, I
Yeah,
mean, there's enough names there. There was a tease of Jada Parker facing. For those who have watched Roadblock, they've seen Jada Parker in a backstage segment with Mickey James, and
yeah,
basically her saying, "I want whoever wins out of Stephanie and Julia."
mm,
But then you've also got names like Jordan Grace, Kalani Jordan,
yeah,
um, Fallon, everyone else in Fatal Attraction, who could all fit in seamlessly into that mid card picture.
yeah.
While Stephanie can, I mean, I could easily Stephanie face Jordan
Mm.
Grace at Stand and Deliver. But no, you talk about NXT. Like, for those who are either new to this podcast or have listened to this podcast for a while and we've not necessarily covered NXT on it, I used to be like, NXT used to be my baby 10 years ago. Like, this is my 10th year on SLTD wrestling, which is horrifying in many ways.
Thanks.
Um,
Rude.
and one of the first things I remember writing about was NXT Takeover Brooklyn.
Yeah,
And for like the next 5 or 6 years, it was takeover prediction, takeover prediction, takeover prediction,
yeah,
and more predictions. Um, that sort of stopped in 2021 when NXT had quite a huge shift in the way its programming was when they went to 2.0, and certain names like Johnny Gargano, Adam Cole, sort of the flag bearers of NXT Black and Gold for me, were sort of phased out. And then I didn't really follow NXT for best part of 4 years. Like, I would hear people talk about it and see people come up like Bron Breakker and Roxanne Perez and Tiffany Stratton, thinking it's a real shame that I wasn't following their careers.
Yeah.
because 5, 6 years ago, I was like, this is great. Shinsuke Nakamura is on the main roster. Yeah, I've seen his match against Sami Zayn. So when a new person will debut on Raw or SmackDown, it will be like, oh, I'm quite far back on their careers.
Yeah.
So it's quite nice now to be slipping slowly back into NXT. And like you said, their partnership with TNA has really benefited that show. Like it's 2025, and I get to see the Hardy Boys wrestle in a WWE ring.
Yeah.
Like it's one of the most like so much has happened already this year, but one of the most wildest things to happen is actually seeing the Hardy Boys wrestle in WWE again.
Yeah.
So obviously, long may that continue. But
Mm.
also, I'm getting to see people like Moose performing in WWE, having a great match against Obafemi, Ethan Page, and I wrote his name down. Javon Evans having an incredible match
Yeah.
this week. And like you said, the main event between Julia and Stephanie was really solid to the point where you wouldn't know that Julia was injured.
Yeah.
Like it was reported 2 weeks ago, this is the reason why they're having this match now. Because I think it was initially planned for Stand and Deliver, but obviously they've had to bring that forward.
Mm.
Um, so no, it's just great to be watching a show that was once my baby, and then I was like, I chucked it to the side because of what they did to it. It's nice to see them finally. Yes, it's different to what it was 10 years ago, but it's nice to finally see NXT back in a strong position again to where it feels like must see weekly viewing.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. On the subject of title unifications, these talk of AEW unifying the international and the continental.
To create the what the intercontinental.
Intercontinental, yeah. Intercontinental. Oh, wait, hang on, you can't do. Now, do you know what's funny,
Hang
right?
on a minute.
I don't know I don't understand why the Continental Classic is a title. Like, I fully don't understand
Yeah,
the concept of that.
there was the thing that they did with Eddie Kingston where it made sense with the
Yeah.
three and all that kind of stuff because it threw back to something that had
Yeah.
happened previously.
So it was like you win the Triple Crown.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but now it's a thing and it's a tournament and a card. It's basically Okada's just been walking around with the title since he got there
Yeah.
and has been doing nothing else
Yeah.
really.
Even that, when he
Um,
was in the Continental Classic, and they were like, he's the most successful tournament wrestler in the world because he's won like X amount of tournaments, and it's like
mm.
because he's won the G1 1,000,001 times, and now he's won this one time, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna piggyback off this, or
But then surely would you not be wanting to sort of, I suppose, capitalize on that? By like last night on Dynamite, Will Ospreay said that he's going to win the world title, he's going to do it at all in, and he's going to do it by winning the Owen.
yeah,
Surely then Okada is the next person that says, "Well, hang on a minute, I'm also in the Owen," and then you build up on the point of, "Hang on, he's the tournament king,
yeah,
so he's a good thing." I
yeah,
mean, I don't know, I don't like. So right now, if they were merging them both, it's Omega Okada, in it. That's the thing that they'd be building towards
yeah,
doing that match again. I get the feeling that whoever it is that wins this tournament to face Okada at Dynasty isn't actually going to end up beating Okada.
no,
Oh, it's not Okada, is it? It's Omega, sorry.
yeah, Omega, yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah. I don't think they'll end up beating Omega. I get a feeling that they might put the Rocket on Speedball just for his sort of first outing, because now that
yeah,
he's actually there in AEW, like doing Speedball and Omega, like take my money now. But I can't imagine that they straight away put that title on him, being as
yeah.
Kenny's only just won it. So
Who's the TNT champ?
yeah, that's a question.
You're asking
I'm
you're asking
racking my
one person who's
brain.
never
I
really
feel like I
watched
don't want to Google
AEW.
it. I want to rack my brain and figure it out.
Yeah,
So
me
it
too.
was it was Jack Perry all in.
Yeah,
So then who took it off Jack?
Darby,
Was it Darby?
Jack and Darby had.
Jack and Gilman.
Who's the TNT champ?
Right. So right, Moxley's AEW.
Yeah,
It's Daniel Garcia.
Oh, of course, yeah. Sorry, yeah.
Daniel Garcia.
Wow. That's such a drastic dip,
Wow.
isn't it? Jesus Christ.
Because
But I think
TBS is
that
Mercedes.
highlights how many titles there actually are. And this isn't a bash at directly AEW. WWE have the same problem
Yeah.
where there's far too many titles that you forget who the champion
Yeah.
actually is
Well, we
because
had
they
the
get
thing
shit.
last week, didn't we,
Right.
where we said like who's the speed champion?
Yeah, we just like, who even is
Is
that?
it Dragon Lee?
It is
Yeah.
Dragon Lee.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
didn't know
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
that.
Because we were talking about Candice LeRae and she's the women's speed champ. I was
Yeah.
like, what? But it's, as I say, it's one of the, like, the Continental, right, so the Continental Classic, this feels like the same thing I was saying about about the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. Like, it should be where it's like, everything should be a vehicle for somebody to move up the card.
Can you imagine it being a tiered system where it was like your Continental, right? Once you've held the Continental for so long, like bringing on option C thing.
Yeah,
Like, do you want are you carrying on defending this championship or are you cashing it in to go for a shot at the international championship? And then you work your way up there, and then it's the world title. Well, no, then it's Daniel Garcia with his TNT title. Then it's the world title.
yeah.
Like,
But it should be, do you know what they could, right? So if they're going to have a belt, right? Again, I'm just kind of spitballing here a little bit. But if they had the belt and the belt was getting defended all year, right? At the beginning of the Continental Classic tournament, they should say, do you want to cash this title in for a world title shot? Or do you want to go through the Continental Classic? That's what they should do.
yeah.
And then you're like, well, actually, somebody else can have it. I want that. Do you know what I mean? Or it's like, no, I can go through the Continental Classic. Or they should it. No, that wouldn't work. Doesn't matter.
A bit like the 1% Club. You can take your grand and go home.
Yeah, yeah. It's just one of them where it's like loads of things in. Like it just needs a trophy, like a trophy of some sort to be like, this means I'm the number one contender. Like the Owen. The Owen is now you're the number one contender at all in. Like they need another thing where it's like this.
Imagine people walking around with like a Learner of the Week medal around the neck. I'm number one contender.
Well, that's the
but then
thing.
they do that already with the Battle Royal.
Yeah,
Yeah, they've already got
what?
that sort of contract.
Yeah. So it's just one of them. Like I don't feel like that's too much. Maybe for everyone going for the number one contenders for the world title, but I feel like if you're in the Continental Classic, you should get a title shot of some sort. You shouldn't
Mm.
get a belt that then a year later you've got to go into this tournament and defend, and it means nothing. He hasn't defended it for ages, really. Like,
Mm.
I mean, yeah, obviously recently he has with the what are they now, the Hounds of Hell. But before
Oh,
that,
he faced Brody, didn't he?
yeah, yeah. So and he faced,
Did he face Matthews at a different time?
yeah, at in Australia.
Ah, right, okay.
Before that, I can't remember the last time he did like
No.
this title because it's not. It's just something that he just walks around with, calling people a bitch and that.
Mm.
So it's just one of them where maybe merging them, but still having the Continental Classic thing, just having it as a this is like an opportunity now rather than a belt.
It's
Because
like that weird sort of, it's like a Jedi mind trick of going, he's on our roster. Look, we've given him something to do because he's got a
yeah,
title. Like, stop
bizarre.
complaining about the fact that, you know,
Bizarre. I don't get it.
yeah,
Even the Owen being a belt. Now, what's the point of that? Like, what's the
yeah,
point of a belt?
yeah.
It's bananas. He just loves belts.
He
Like,
loves a belt.
he does. Like, it's
His
just
pants are
mad.
never falling down.
No, no. But I don't know. Yeah, I think they just need to do away with it. It's the same as the Diamond Dozen thing.
Dynamite Diamond, like, what's this thing? Like, once a year, MJF goes, oh, this little ring that I wear, I've got
Yeah,
to defend it. Why?
yeah. But you don't get anything. You just
Who
get the
gives a
ring.
stuff?
It's
Like,
like the ring doesn't mean anything. Oh, I'm gonna win that ring off you. All right. Oh no, it didn't. All right, whatever.
But
That's it.
then, you could also say what they're doing in Saudi Arabia with WWE is the crown jewel champion.
Round
yeah,
jewel. Yeah.
Yeah, I know it. I know it's whoever the world champions are at that time. But we're not going to see Liv Morgan or Cody Rhodes carry around those titles.
No, because they're in Saudi.
Well, they're in
Yeah,
Saudi.
that
They're,
is
they're
true.
locked
Yeah,
away in
It
Saudi.
was a bullseye. It was like what you could have won.
But I
Like
mean,
they're not getting away
exactly.
straight
You're not going to
away.
want to win a speedboat, are you? When there isn't a river.
I don't know. I think
Um,
like that because that's only one match and it's like a gimmick for that night. That feels a little bit different. But I do get what you're saying. It's the same, and it's the same as like it's sort of like the equivalent of bragging rights a few years ago. It doesn't mean anything. It's
Yeah,
just a
yeah.
plastic trophy that's just
Once that night is done,
yeah.
it's like
But
it's
yeah, yeah,
not
whatever.
it's not
You know what I
canon,
mean?
is it? You know.
the other
No.
day, like by the time we reach November this year, on like the little stats, it'll be like bottom left, Liv Morgan is the reigning crown jewel champion.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's the first time that we'll hear from it.
But oh, we
that's
got to remind them that this thing
yeah,
happened.
that's it. I said this, but that like whoever won it last year, like from now on, it should be a triple threat. So
Yeah,
like whoever the two champions are, if it's not Liv or Cody, like
they've got
next
to. Yeah, yeah.
they're in the match to
Be
defend
like
their
the
title.
12 days of Christmas. So eventually you'll have a 12-person match of the 12
No, I
former
mean like
champions.
no, I mean like not every time. I mean like if you won it last year, then you're in the
Yeah.
match with the two champs. Do you know what I mean?
Well, because like supposedly, if they both win at Mania and then nothing changes before then, you could be getting like Cena and Jey Uso,
Yeah,
you know. But it's,
man. That's just mad. But there's a story there because Jey Uso threw him out the Rumble, so it's all good. Know what
this
I
is
mean?
it.
That's mad.
Oh God, we've called it already.
Oh Jesus. Oh
Oh God.
no. But yeah, they should put Cody in that match because it's like, well, it's my title to defend.
Yeah.
So let's see if I can keep it. You know what I mean? And then imagine Cena with that belt. What the freaking hell? Like, I'm the if he wins that title at WrestleMania and doesn't come out on the Raw after Mania with a spinning belt, I am gonna fume. Because he better have a spinning belt. Like, it better be a thing to be like, this is what it is, and it exactly.
Oh, but it's the world title, isn't it? Oh no,
Yeah.
it's not. No, it's not. Right. No,
Oh
because
no,
in my head,
yeah.
for some reason, I had him with the world title, and it's literally just the big gold with the logo
Just the logo.
going around and around.
I want it to be like the exactly how it is, how it looks, the gold, and then just the WWE spins, like just somehow I don't know, whatever, or the whole thing, like the little, like the
The
whole,
whole centerpiece.
yeah, just spin the whole centerpiece, yeah, just do that. I don't care, just make it work. You know what I
Rock
mean?
can put in the title that was given to him by Muhammad Ali's
Yeah,
Muhammad Ali's wife,
yeah. The pair of
and both of them are spinning titles.
yeah, the
Such
Rock can spin
egregious
as
bullshit.
Rock can spin a bull, like the bull can start spinning. Yeah, man.
Honest to God.
I mean, I'm still gunning for Cena wearing the corporate trackie when he wrestles. I'm still hopeful. I'm still got fingers crossed.
Like John Laurinaitis.
Yeah.
People out.
No, he's gonna cut like it's just like the silk trackie that he wore
Yeah.
at Royal Rumble. Um, but yeah,
Just,
what do you
he's
think?
gonna come out with one of Rock's like $1,000 t-shirts.
Yeah, man.
Some
Just like
shades
come
on.
out in a Gucci vest, like
Yeah.
that's so good. Know
Be
what I
like
mean?
Hollywood Rock's entrance, where it's like, everything's like really, and then it just goes. Do, 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 do. Like when now with a trailer where it's like always a slowed down 80s pop
Yeah,
song.
yeah, yeah.
Do, 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 do.
And just like the
Can't
words,
see me.
yeah, like the words of the song, but like acoustic over the
Yeah.
guitar. Know what I mean?
My
Like,
time is now.
yeah. Oh, we're writing this too well. I'll be honest. I don't think it's gonna happen.
Folks, you don't need to watch WrestleMania. We've just spoiled it for you.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it. All you
You don't
need.
need to watch Crown Jewel either. It's Cena versus Jey Uso, apparently.
Before we wrap this up, I'll just going back a minute. Do you think anybody from TNA or NXT are going to win each other's titles? Do you think that has ever happened? I meant to ask this before.
I feel like I could see a Fraxium with the TNA tag titles.
Hmm.
Right.
Or, I mean, a Hardy's with the NXT would work as well, wouldn't it? But
Yeah.
Like I think yeah, it's always an interesting thing where it's like if you've got a working relation, like New Japan and AEW have got a working relationship. Like potentially they're more so AEW people would win
Yeah.
New Japan rather than the other way around, I suppose.
Yeah.
But because it isn't somebody the never open weight champ. Um, sh-
Daniel Garcia, I don't know.
is it Shibata? No, it's not. Who's in the Don Callis family?
Takashita.
Uh,
Yeah, I think Shikita. Who's it?
Takeshita.
Keshta is couldn't get it. Yeah, I'm sure he's an New Japan champ as well.
I'll tell you what was a nice surprise that I didn't realize because Danny Luna wrestled on the Burning Heart show against Holly Barlow.
Yeah.
She's one half of the TNA Knockouts champions.
Is she?
Danny Luna. She came out with the title.
Oh, Danny Luna. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
she is.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Not
I,
Holly Barlow. Yeah.
yeah, I was going to say, what are you on about? Yeah,
No, no. Is
yes,
she?
this
Is it? Who's she? Who's the partner?
someone threat.
Oh, Jodie Threat.
Jody Frat.
Yeah, and their Spitfire.
Yes. That yeah, that rings a bell. Yeah, yeah.
I'm a little bit annoyed that I've started watching TNA right when Tessa Blanchard has joined TNA. I'm a bit like I feel like
You know,
I'm just watching it for her, which is a bit weird.
follow the controversy around.
Have you heard people chanting in the shows to it and that?
Mm.
Jesus, like
I mean, if
people in
anyone was going to
the
watch
crowd.
Vince McMahon's new promotion, it'd be you.
I'm telling you. Well, yeah. I mean,
God knows who he's going to hire.
I had to take me Velveteen Dream t-shirt off and put my Los Guerreros one on before I jumped on the pod. Know what I mean? I'm
Yeah.
joking. I don't know where that t-shirt is. I think Rach has hidden it from me.
Good.
So yeah, I don't wear it. Don't know where it is. So I really like it, but yeah, whatever. Know what I mean? Anything you would like to add before we wrap this one up?
No.
Okay, smashing. Callum, anything you would like to add?
Trying to think if there's anything happening. No, Forest are still third in the Premier League, so beat Man City 1-0 a few days ago.
It's absolutely
So
wrong. I'll be honest.
feeling good.
I have nothing to add except um, that I got maybe the most insulting insult I have ever had in my life today because Rach was like, "You look really tired," but I know like you look like you're like you like your face is all like you're like a bit grey and you're not you've lost the colour and that. You're like you're all right. You look like she was like, "Don't take this the wrong way." But you look like £5 of shit. You look like £10 of shit in a £5 bag. And I was like, I don't even know.
You're always ill though, so like, how does she know when you look different?
Oh, I had a swollen uvula recently.
Swollen uvula. He used this off podcast as an excuse for not replying to a text
I
message.
did not. It's
Right?
what
Your
happened.
uvula is in your throat.
I thought I was
Like you
gonna
did not. I
die.
didn't need you to speak. I didn't need a voice note.
All right. Well, I felt a bit
I just
anyway.
needed a cheers, mate, for doing that.
All right.
You know, that's all I needed. That's all I wanted.
Cheers, mate, for doing that. I've heard I'm gonna see you quite soon, but I don't know in what context.
Oh,
Yeah. I've heard, so I think I know what it is, but I'm not guessing.
you can't keep it to herself.
No, well, what happened was we were talking, and I was like, "Oh, I haven't seen that for a while." Blah blah blah. Yesterday, because I went to see Blood Brothers yesterday.
Amy's
Tell me
going
it's
next
not
week.
true.
So oh, man, I cried. I like literally like sobbed. Like
Oh, Amy, and mum and her sister are going like next week, and
yeah,
probably expect them all to be sobbing.
Yeah,
like
great
I
show.
seen it like when I was like 14 or something,
You
15.
were in it.
Yeah, I was- just because it's Scouse. I mean, I might know the people in it. I'm not sure. We all know each other.
One of those kids in the kids game.
Yeah, but so yeah, I went there yesterday, and then I seen a Blues Brothers thing because Blues Brothers is my favorite film, and I was like, oh, I'd like to go and see that, and then I was like, I need someone to go with me though, because Rach was like, and I was like, I might ask Adam because he owes me one. He owes a tip to thingy, and she was like, "Oh yeah, that'd be nice." I mean, yeah, I'll see them soon anyway. So, and I was like, "What?" And she was like, "What?
Shit.
Yeah,
Should not have said that.
Yeah.
Should not have
what?
said that.
What?" And I was like, "Why? What? What have I got? Why am I?" And then I was like, "Have I forgot something?" So just don't ask.
Have
Just
I
doesn't.
forgot something? Do I need to tell him that I've got a swollen uvula?
Yeah. So I was like, "What?" So I think I know what's going on, but she hasn't confirmed what's going on. So
Okay.
I know I'm
Okay.
seeing you soon,
Hmm.
right? But I don't know when. I mean, I
Okay.
see it all the time. But you
Yeah.
know, so I think I'm aware, but she hasn't. Just because I was like, "What am I?" And she was like, "Are you what? What? Sorry, what are you doing? What? What? What?" And I was just like, "Oh,
Gaslighting you. No
yeah,
one said anything.
yeah." I'm about to haven't even mentioned that. You mentioned Adam, not me. Like I was like, "Okay." So she was like, "Just leave that show starting." Shh.
What is the Blues Brothers thing then?
So it's like the Chicago Blues Brothers
Yeah.
come
Mm,
out. They do I assume they do like songs and
Oh, okay.
yeah.
stuff like that. I don't know, to be honest. It could just
I
be
went to
of
I
the.
went to watch it for about 7, 8 years ago.
Is that
Oh,
what it is? Like just a concert of.
It's concert slash show, which I know is exactly the same thing. You've got people who are pretending to be or acting as the characters from the Blues Brothers. So is Jake and Elwood.
Yeah.
Assuming the show hasn't changed at all, performing some songs from the show and or songs from the film and similar blues style songs.
Oh, okay.
One of the characters blackfaced when we went 7, 8 years
Christ.
ago.
Ooh,
So I mean, I'm not sure whether that will happen this time around.
ooh.
But I was about to say I'd go and watch that until Callum said that.
Oh, I don't think I think I've gone off it. Oh God, bit of blackface. Oh my God. On that note,
If you do
bye.
research and the blackface is no longer in it, let me know and I'll go. It's fine.
Okay, that sounds all right.
I
I
mean,
mean, I said that like you
everybody
know
needs somebody to go and watch the show.
well, yeah, there you go. I knew one of them was coming because I said even this because I was like, I might ask Adam because he owes you one. And Rachel was like, he doesn't owe you one. He took you to see, like he took you to see Hamilton. That's not him owing you one. You owe him one. I was like, oh yeah, yeah,
No, no.
yeah. I was like, well, he hasn't come to Liverpool, so he owes me that. All
I
right.
did. This is true.
Right, yeah, that was our little mixed bag, our little,
Yeah.
Sam's gonna hate that
He's going to be pissed
editing.
because we've just moved it to the end.
I know. Well,
But
he
he's stopped
can,
listening now. He's turned it
yeah,
off.
he's just like, I'm not talking, I'm not listening to
Yeah.
these.
I'm not here for the outro.
Yeah, if you're still listening, Sam, and you're a fan of the Blues Brothers, let me know. All right,
Hey,
I'll,
Sam has got, I think.
yeah, he'll come to anything. He loves it, doesn't he?
Loves it.
Anything to get him out the house, I think. He's just like, yeah, right. Well, what are we doing? I love him really. Like, yeah, I do love him really. He's a dude. Uh, I think this at some point. Adam needs to hit the music button. So stay safe, stay entertained, and watch the wrestling you want to watch. And we will catch you next time.